It's a real pleasure. Thank you. Thank you very much for hosting me.
Yeah, welcome to Japan.
Always very good to be here. Of course.
Take a look here. Thank you. Ekaristo.
Very good. Thank you for coming.
まずは三つ滝首相の訪日を歓迎申し上げます。初めてお会いすると大変嬉しく思っています。
Είμαστε ευτυχείς που είστε εδώ για πρώτη φορά. Σας καλωσορίζουμε θερμά. Η Ιαπωνία και η Ελλάδα μοιράζονται κοινές αξίες. Είμαστε ναυτικά έθνη και έχουμε ενδυναμώσει την εθνική μας νομοθεσία, όπως και η εθνική τάξη είναι υποφελή εκ των δύο χωρών μας. Για να ενδυναμώσουμε τις διμερείς μας σχέσεις ως στρατηγικοί εταίροι και φυσικά να εργαστούμε και στην περιοχή του Ινδοειρηνικού, θα θέλαμε να εμβαθύνουμε τη συνεργασία μας έτσι περαιτέρω. Αγαπητέ κύριε Πρωθυπουργέ, κύριε Μητσοτάκη, ζητώ τη συνεργασία και την κατανόησή σας. Ευχαριστώ θερμά.
Dear Prime Minister, thank you very much for your invitation to visit Kyoto. It's been 17 years since a Greek Prime Minister has come to Japan. I'm very, very happy to be here. Next year, we'll be marking 125 years of diplomatic relations. And I think that during this long period, we have developed our ties and provided mutual support in various fields, including in very turbulent times, like the ones we are currently facing. We're bound by common tradition and pursuits. We're both seafaring and trading nations. We're both beacons of cultural heritage. We're globally renowned tourist destinations. We place great emphasis on the value of education, and we pursue a multidimensional and dynamic foreign policy. I would like to stress the importance of the adherence to a rules-based international order and the emphasis that we place on the peaceful resolution of all international disputes. And of course, let me also emphasize in my introductory remarks the importance of our cooperation in the field of shipping. Many Greek shipbuilders have built their ships in Japan starting in the 50s, and I think we have also contributed in our own small way in launching Japan's post-war recovery. And I'm really happy that today we'll be signing a joint statement on strategic partnership. We'll have an opportunity to discuss in more detail, as well as discussing other very important issues, such as our bilateral economic cooperation, but also the important challenges that we're facing, especially in light of your leadership of the G7. I'm sure you will have a lot of interesting things to tell us about what's happening in the world these days. Thank you again very much for your warm welcome.
Η κοινή συνέντευξη τύπου.
続いて、Mitsotakis首相にご発言いただきます。
Πρώτα, ο κύριος Κισίντα, παρακαλώ. Θα ήθελα να σας ευχαριστήσω. Ευχαριστώ θερμά. Καλώς ήρθατε, ένα θερμό καλωσόρισμα στον κύριο Πρωθυπουργό, τον κύριο Μητσοτάκη, αλλά και στην Ελλάδα εν συνόλο για αυτή την επίσκεψη στην Ιαπωνία. Μόλις είχαμε μια συνάντηση με τον κύριο Πρωθυπουργό της Ελλάδος, μια διμερή συνάντηση όπου ακριβώς μιλήσαμε για αυτές μας τις σχέσεις. Η Ιαπωνία και η Ελλάδα, όπως και εμείς, έχουμε κοινές αξίες. Για παράδειγμα, είμαστε ναυτικά έθνη. Επιπλέον, ενδιαφερόμαστε για την ναυτική τάξη, η επωφελία των κοινών μας συμφερόντων. Επίσης, ξέρουμε ότι υπήρχε μια διασάλευση της παγκόσμιας τάξης μετά την ρωσική επιθετικότητα στην Ουκρανία. Οι σχέσεις μας ποτέ δεν ήταν πιο δυνατές. Με τον κύριο Πρωθυπουργό, με τον κύριο Μητσοτάκη, είπαμε πως θα μιλήσουμε πλέον για μια στρατηγική συνεργασία συμπεριλαμβανομένης και της πραγματοποίησης μιας νέας πρωτοβουλίας για την περιοχή του Ινδοειρηνικού. Επιπροσθέτως, λάβαμε την ευκαιρία, μάλλον αυτής της επισκέψεως, εμείς μιλήσαμε για τις εμπορικές σχέσεις, μιλήσαμε και για τους οικονομικούς θεσμούς και υπογράψαμε ένα μνημόνιο συνεργασίας μεταξύ των αρχών τουρισμού. Αναγνωρίζουμε ότι υπάρχει ένα νέο momentum για την ενδυνάμωση των διμερών σχέσεων και σε αυτόν τον τομέα. Συνομολογήσαμε τούτη την συμφωνία και τώρα σε σχέση με τη ρωσική επίθεση στην Ουκρανία συμφωνήσαμε ότι θα συνεχίσουμε να εφαρμόζουμε αυστηρές κυρώσεις έναντι της Ρωσίας. Επίσης, εμείς δεν δεχόμαστε οποιαδήποτε πυρηνική απειλή από την Ρωσία, ούτε και τη χρήση παρόμοιων όπλων. Επίσης, συζητήσαμε για διαφορετικά ζητήματα, πώς μπορούμε να δράσουμε υποφελία των κοινών μας στόχων και των κοινών μας συμφερόντων. Επιπροσθέτως, στην κοινή δήλωση στρατηγικής συνεργασίας θα μιλήσουμε για την περαιτέρω ενδυνάμωση της διμερούς μας σχέσης. Ευχαριστώ θερμά. Ευχαριστώ θερμά, κύριε Πρωθυπουργέ.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for this very warm welcome, and it's a great pleasure and a great honor to visit Japan and re-energize our relations at the top level. After nearly 2 decades, Greece and Japan represent two ancient cultures with unique contributions to world civilization. They're also two modern nations, two strong democracies faced with similar challenges and which see eye to eye on key global and regional issues. I'm very happy about the fact that we are signing a joint statement on strategic partnership. With this statement, our countries are significantly upgrading their strategic relations, and we are inaugurating a close area of cooperation across a spectrum of various different policy areas: political, economic, climate, digital, education, culture, tourism, and this document that we will be signing is going to be our compass, guiding the development of the full potential of our bilateral cooperation for the years to come. And we had a first opportunity to discuss issues that are of common interest. We've identified great opportunities in the field of economic cooperation, given that Japan is the world's third largest economy, and Greece is emerging as a reliable and very predictable investment and trade partner. I had the opportunity to inform the Prime Minister about the progress that we've been able to make as a Greek economy, growing at almost 5.6% in 2022, almost double the projected euro area average, and being a most attractive destination for foreign direct investment in the Eastern Mediterranean. We had an opportunity to review our excellent cooperation on maritime issues as two of the world's leading seafaring nations. And as next year, our two countries will mark 125 years of diplomatic relations, we intend to celebrate our year of culture and tourism with a number of events organized across various cities in Greece and Japan. The Prime Minister pointed out how dramatically the world has changed in 2022 with the Russian unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, and no one has been left untouched by the turbulence that this act has caused. We exchanged views on Russia's aggression and the next steps that the international community needs to take. And I think our discussions are that much more pertinent given the adoption of Japan's new national security strategy, which we welcome, and of course in light of Japan's chairmanship of the G7 this year. As a NATO member, as a member of the European Union, we support the strengthening of relationships between Greece and NATO and Greece and the European Union. I think this is a mutually beneficial relationship, Prime Minister. And on the war in Ukraine, we have fully supported Ukraine's independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity from the very beginning. And we're absolutely determined to stand by Ukraine for as long as it takes. We have one additional sensitivity, Prime Minister, when it comes to Ukraine. Members of the Greek community in Mariupol were amongst the first civilian victims during the very first days of the war. And it is only to be expected that Greece, as is Japan, we are both staunch supporters of such basic principles as the use of non-violence and the inviolability of borders. International disputes need to be resolved through reference to international law, and we cannot accept any unilateral change to a status quo through the use of force. We are firm believers in a rules-based international order where international law is respected and revisionist agendas are simply unacceptable. We will have a further opportunity over dinner to discuss regional challenges, the situation that you face regarding North Korea's missile provocations are completely unacceptable. We agreed that we remain firm in our condemnation of these actions, and I will also have the opportunity to brief the Prime Minister on the situation in the Eastern Mediterranean and the unfortunate inflammatory rhetoric and provocative actions by our neighbor Turkey, which undermine regional stability and security. We will always, Prime Minister, keep the window of dialogue open, but as a sovereign nation, we cannot accept any threats to our sovereignty and our sovereign rights. To sum up, I'm particularly happy that my visit is providing a new momentum to our bilateral relations. Important agreements have been reached and signed. The most important enhancement to our economic ties, of course, will be the agreement on avoidance of double taxation. I think it is very realistic to expect that this agreement will be signed before the end of the year. And I believe that today we have laid the foundations for a blossoming cooperation among like-minded strategic partners. I am confident that Greece and Japan will continue to work together to fulfill the wishes of our people for durable peace and prosperity. Tomorrow we'll have another series of meetings with key business leaders and trade representatives. I will have the pleasure of addressing students at Tokyo University, and I would like again to thank you, Prime Minister, for this very warm welcome. I would like to invite you to Greece, to visit Greece, and to view firsthand my country's transformation from a laggard within the European Union to a protagonist, and to continue to take forward this important strategic partnership. Again, on behalf of our delegation, thank you very much for this warm welcome.